Welcome, guys, to the 7th round of the Banter Racing League Season 2. We are here for the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal, Circuit Gilles, Villeneuve. Here we are on the formation lap. We have 15 drivers, the most of the season, on the grid today for this race. Let me take you through the grid. We have Sentry, the Finnish driver for Ferrari, on pole position by only 600ths. Agonza took second place for McLaren, combined in third for Sauber, Ivan in fourth for McLaren, Jagger in fifth for Ferrari, Lucky Racer in sixth for Haas, Wesley in seventh for Red Bull, Boxy in eighth, and Sentry in ninth, Ping in 10th, Wattmaster in 11th, Addy in 12th, Savage in 13th, Harry in 14th, and Cryptox. I think Cryptox is 14th and Harry 15th, because Harry had a quali ban from Monaco, so it's actually the Boom as well, so yeah, Savage is 12th, Cryptox is 13th, the Boom is 14th, and Harry is 15th. Wattmaster ended up not starting on the grid because his internet failed on him, so it was unfortunate for Wattmaster. His first did not start of the season, and here we are lining up on the grid for the Canadian Grand Prix. Sentry lines up on pole in the Ferrari, combined right behind him in P3. Here we go for the start of the Canadian Grand Prix. The 7th round of the Banter Racing League. And it's now away we go for the Canadian Grand Prix. It's a good start by Sentry as he heads down towards turn 1, and he slips ahead of Agonza, as now coming into turn 1 Sentry leads, Agonza second, and Jagger has taken third away from combined, as now Sentry leads down towards turn 3. In the Ferrari, Agonza in second place, Jagger in third, Ivan in fourth, and Sentry Wesley in combined dropping places from third on the grid. He has dropped places. What has happened to the Sauber? We will see later. As now on board with Lucky Racer. As now after the first sector we have Sentry, then Agonza in second, Jagger in third, Ivan fourth, Sentry fifth, Wesley sixth, Lucky Racer seventh, Ping in eighth, Addy in ninth, combined in 10th. Cryptox 11th, Boxy 12th, Savage, Harry, and Thaboom. We've heard that Thaboom and Harry have had a collision on lap 1. As now here is Cryptox trying to pressurize combined as we head down onto the straight. Currently the two Toro Rossos in P9 and 11. As now coming down towards the final chicane to start lap 2 of the Canadian Grand Prix. Sentry leads it, and there's a lot of debris there on the exit of the chicane. What has happened here? There's a Red Bull off of Wesley. Wesley has completely lost his front wing. What has happened to him there? I don't know what has happened to the Belgian in the Red Bull. The Boom pits for a new front wing. Savage pits for a new front wing. So there has been a bit of a collision down at the first lap. Savage is pitted for Mercedes, the Boom is pitted for Haas, and Wesley will have to pit for a front wing as well. Let's see from Combined's point of view on the end of lap 1. And there was actually a big collision there. Wesley and Lucky Racer collided. That was interesting there. Let's see from Ping's point of view. Into the final chicane we go. Here we go in slow motion. Lucky Racer. Oh, that's interesting. Wesley actually... I thought at first, when I first saw it, that Wesley actually hit the wall, but he didn't. He actually hits like an invisible something, so maybe there was a lag car or something there. So Wesley hit something invisible there, and that made Lucky Racer crash into him, and then they both spun out into the wall. They both lost their front wings. As now Ivan gets past Jagger on lap 2, into third place goes the McLaren. And now Sentry's trying to pressurize Jagger as he head down into turn 3. Can this happen? No, he won't get past. Anyway, as I was saying, yep, both Lucky Racer and Wesley have to pit for a new front wing because they both were involved in that crash. And Ping was involved in that crash too, but he doesn't have that much damage compared to Lucky Racer and Wesley. Here we go. Ivan leads this pack battle for third place. Ivan, Jagger, and Sentry. Here he goes into the chicane. Sentry started from 8th place behind his teammate Boxy, but he's actually caught up well from that. 8th, and now he's up to 5th at the moment. as DRS is enabled on lap 3 of the Canadian Grand Prix. Gilles has almost run into the back of Ivan there. Didn't quite hit him there. As now Ivan comes into turn 3. As now on board with Sentry in the middle of lap 3. Here we go. He slides out the exit. That's a good slide from Sentry. As now we head down into the hairpin. Can Sentry go? He's going for it up the inside. Is Sentry? Is he going to get this move done? Yes, he is. Sentry gets the move done on Gilles, and he goes up into 4th place. I don't think he actually intended that, but it will do for now. Sentry moves up into 4th place with a bit of a dive bomb into that corner. And now on board with Gilles, who just lost that position to Sentry. Sentry is now challenging Ivan for 3rd place. As now he was combined behind Ping Too High. As he head down into turn 1 on lap 4. As now, at the back of the field, we have Lucky Racer behind Savage, coming down towards the hairpin, on the exit of the hairpin now. And now he's going to get the slipstream, and he's going to get the DRS. What can Lucky Racer do to Savage? As he head down into the chicane, he has DRS, he goes to the inside. They are side by side as he head into the chicane. Lucky Racer is the inside line. As he head into the final chicane, Savage holds it around the outside, but now they're going to go wheel to wheel again as he head down into turn 1. Onto the straight we go. Lucky Racer still has the inside line as he head down into turn 1. And now Lucky Racer tries to get the position. Into P12 we go, but they're still side by side, and Lucky Racer goes around the outside of Savage and he moves up into 12th place. That was a nice battle between those two. And Lucky Racer with a brilliant move around the outside of Savage. That was some nice racing between those two. It's good to see Savage involved in some clean battles recently after his dirty moments in the Chinese Grand Prix, for example. It's nice to see Savage in some nice battles. As now here is combined now behind Ping Too High once again. Can he overtake him? He looks to be overtaking him. It's going to be very close between these two on lap 5 out of 35 here in Canada. As now combined oversteers, it's starting to rain now. It is starting to rain in this Canadian Grand Prix. As now here is a replay of the start. Combined who started from P3 on the grid. We need to see how he dropped back so much at the start. He went from 3rd down to 10th. So he goes the outside into turn 1. And yep, Gilles overtakes him there. So Gilles overtakes him for 3rd. Ivan overtakes him as well, so he's lost 2 places already. So he's down to 5th at the moment. And now he actually got a hit there. He got hit by someone at the chicane, and he had to go across it. So that's how he lost out and dropped down to 10th place. Let's see, Ping Too High in the Williams. Let's see his start. He started 10th on the grid. And that's the position where Combined would end up dropping back to. And Lucky Racer gets squeezed out by Sentry there on the outside. You can see Combined wheel to wheel with Ivan. And Ivan overtook him on the inside there. And now it's actually 3 wide coming into this corner. You can see Sentry coming up the inside of Combined. That is where the contact was. Sentry was the one who hit Combined into turn 3. And that is the one that cost the Saubers race. On board with Cryptox off the start in the Toro Rosso. He is behind his teammate Addy. But now there is Harry flying off the start there. There was actually a bit of contact there, as Cryptox actually has a look up the inside of Addy, his teammate, as he heads into turn 1 and 2. Goes a little bit wide, touches the grass, and there was a little bit of a touch with Savage. Wheel banging with Savage there, and that put Savage into the side of Boxy. So that was a chain reaction crash there between those two. As now back to live action on lap 5 of 35 here in Canada. As now Ping runs wide there, is Combined going to get the opportunity heading down into the hairpin. He's going to have the inside line into the hairpin. He's going to go up the inside. He's gone straight on. That means it's pouring it down now, because Ping went straight on as well. So that means it is getting heavier. The rain is getting much heavier. Combined went straight on at the hairpin. How did he not hit the wall? That's a good question. And now here is Boxy pressurizing the Australian as he head down into the final chicane. And now everyone is going into the pits. This will be for intermediate tyres for sure, because it is raining like hell right now in here in Canada. We're going to change onto the intermediate tyres, I presume. Yep, we can see Boxy's pit crew have a set of intermediate tyres. Ping has also changed to intermediates, and he's also had a front wing change as well. Combined also pits, Addy also pits, Harry pits as well. Everyone pits for intermediate tyres. But Ivan and Sea Nostalgia stayed out on the dry tyres. Could that cost them a bit? As now here is Combined behind Addy. He's slipstreaming him down to the outside, coming towards the hairpin, and he gets past Addy into the hairpin. He made it look easy there, because Addy lifted it off a bit, I think, which meant Combined got him easily, and that's him up into P7 at the moment. Next position is the other Toro Rosso of Cryptox, but he has to pit. So here we go with Sea Nostalgia coming into the pits now for his first pit stop. This will be for an intermediate set because I think he stayed out too long on the dry tyres, to be honest. He's on the Ultra Sauce, of course. Yep, he's changing to intermediates. So Sea Nostalgia has pitted onto the intermediate tyres. And Ivan also pits, so the two guys who are stopping, who are stayed on the dry tyres, this is going to be very close with the Gonza now. They're going to be side by side out of the pits now, and Sea Nostalgia gets gets ahead of a Gonza. So that's going to be an interesting battle for the lead now. A Gonza, hits the back of Sea Nostalgia, and a Gonza has lost out to the Ferrari of Sea Nostalgia. And Agonza would have to try and catch him for sure. As now back to the battle between Combined and Ping. Coming into the chicane now. Lap 8 of 35. Here in Canada. He's got some good traction now, the chicane. Is Ping going to get past Combined as we head down into turn 1? No, Combined does some nice defending. Always just going to the outside line. Or he's getting some wet on his tyres. I don't know. As now he's getting much closer. Coming down into the chicane. Somehow this is not dirty air from him, but Combined and Ping are going to have a nice battle here. Combined understeers a bit there, that's lost him a bit of time. As third gear heading down into turn 7 and 8. Onto the straight, this is going to be another slipstream for Ping. He's on lean mix at the moment, so he's not attempting to get past him as of now. But he'll probably try and get past him on the pit straight, or not the pit straight, the first straight, the main straight, not this one, the one after the hairpin. Yeah, this one. On to lap 10 of the Canadian Grand Prix. Combined has pulled away a bit from Ping as we head down into the chicane, and there's a car on the wall. The boom has hit the wall at the final chicane, and that is another retirement for the Kiwi after a bad week recently, as now Ping up the inside of Combined, coming into turn 1, and he's completely overshot turn 1, and he completely lost his brakes there, and that's handed the position back to the Sauber. But unfortunate for the boom in the Haas. Here is the replay. He goes very wide into that corner, just hits the wall of champions. He hits the wall of champions. That means the boom could be a world champion in the future. Who knows? A world champion in junior leagues, that is, possibly. where he's got other slow drivers around him. Sorry about that, the boom, if you're watching. Here we go. The battle resumes between Combined and Ping Too High. As we head down through this corner, Ping goes for a different strategy there. Combined defends the inside line, and he comes into the final chicane. Ping is coming onto the outside. He's got some great traction. As now, Ping goes to the inside of Combined. They are side by side heading down towards turn 1. And we start lap 14 of this race. Ping has the inside line coming into turn 1. And he gets the position into 7th place. And Combined, 6th place I should say. And Combined goes into 7th. So, a nice battle between the Williams and the Sauber. This is a very nice battle. Let's hope this continues throughout the race between the Australian and the German. So, always getting closer there because Combined brakes a little bit later than the Ping. this battle is spicing up to be a very good battle. As now on board with Harry on lap 15 of the Canadian Grand Prix. He's behind Cryptox in the Toro Rosso. As he's gone across the chicane there, gets a time penalty for corner cutting. That's pretty deserved, I think, because he just completely cut the corner. As now Cryptox defends the inside line, but now Harry switches back to the inside line after Cryptox runs wide, and that's going to put him into the points positions. Yes, 10th place for the Renault of Harry Tech, and that's him into 10th. Cryptox down to 11th. Not a good race for Cryptox again. As now on board with Ping once again on lap 17 of this race here in Canada. As now, here we go. Oh, he's lost it! Ping has completely lost it! He has somehow survived crashing out of the race, but he has completely lost it, and he's lost the position to Combine once again. And he's also lost the position to Addy as well, on the inside of that corner. So, wow, Ping has completely lost it in the wet there. He just either touched the white line, or he touched the curb, the wet curb or something. Don't know what went on there. But now Ping has got Addy back. But that was interesting there. Somehow, that was lucky that Ping did not crash out of the race. That was very lucky. Very, very lucky for Ping there. On to lap 17 of this race. On board with Combined now. Heading into the final chicane on lap 20. So 3 laps after the next event. And he comes into the pits because he decided to change his front wing to, I don't know. He just going to change the front wing. Unfortunately, that will mean he's going to have to take another set of inches. That's going to ruin his strategy completely. That's going to ruin his strategy completely if he, he's just changing the front wing, but he's just going on to another set of inches. That's going to completely ruin his strategy. So that's not good from Combined there. Not really a good decision. But if he wanted to change his front wing, that's fair enough. And there we go, here we go, close to Cryptox out of the pits. Combined gets ahead of him, and that's into 11th for the Australian in the Sauber. So, can these two battle? I don't think they will, to be honest, because Combined is on fresh inters now, which has ruined his strategy completely. Even though it's a front wing change, it was only a front wing change he was going for. As now, onto lap 22 now, as Harry in P9 is challenging the Force India of Boxy. Heading down towards the final chicane. Is he going to get this move done into turn 1 maybe? Because I don't think he's going to go from that far back at the chicane. Yes, he's got some good traction there. As he heads down to turn 1, he's got the slipstream. He's going to go to the inside of Boxy, heading down into turn 1. Is Harry going to get this move done? He comes up the inside of the Force India, and he's into 8th place. But Boxy is challenging back on the inside. There's a bit of a lag on Harry's game there. But now, he head into turn 3, Harry does get the place into 8th, but now Boxy comes back up the inside. There's a little bit of space given by the Renault, as now coming into turn 7. Harry is understeering like hell here, as now he coming into turn 7 now. There's a lot of oversteer for Harry, as Boxy is going to try and get better traction out of turn 7, as now they go side by side coming into turn 8, maybe turn 9. Is Boxy going to go up the inside of him? Yes, he is. He's going to go up the inside. That means Harry has to go across the circuit again. That's the second time he's done that today. As Boxy goes on the inside and gets past him and back into 8th place. But now, Harry comes back up the inside into the hairpin, moves back up into 8th place. A nice move from the Renault. And lucky races all over the back of Boxy as well. Can he get past? Boxy fends him off. Boxy fends off Lucky Racer in the Haas as Harry goes into P8. That was a very nice move from the Renault. As now here is the replay from Combined of that battle. He had a nice view of it. Lucky Racer actually looked up the inside of these two. You can see Harry, oh, that was very close there. It was almost 3 wide heading through the hairpin. But you can see, oh wow, that was a very aggressive blocking by Boxy to hold Lucky Racer off there. That was actually interesting there. Coming on to lap 24 of this race, it's a 4-way battle for 8th place at the moment. Harry, Boxy, Lucky Racer and Combined. And Cryptoc's 9 seconds behind, so he's not part of the battle. Is now coming into turn 3. What's going to happen here is Lucky Racer. He's going on the inside. Lucky Racer goes around the outside of Boxy into turn 6. That's a nice move from the Hungarian. And he moves up into 9th place there. So obviously the outside line is better in the wet. And he moves up into P9. Does Lucky Racer. He went around the outside of the Force India of Boxy. As now moving on to the next lap. On lap 25 of the Canadian Grand Prix. Here we go, he's going to combine, he's got some nice traction on Boxy. He heads down to turn 1, he's going to go up the inside of him, into turn 1, he's going for it, he's having a look, but Boxy shuts the door in there, and he keeps 10th place. But now he's going to go up the inside into turn 3. No, don't think he will from this far back. No, I didn't think so. He's completely cut the corner there and got a penalty, so it's not good from Combined either. But now, is he going to go up the inside into turn 7? Yes, he is. He's going to go up the inside of Boxy, coming into turn 7. Is he going to get this move done? Yes, he's around the outside into turn 8, and he gets that move done. So Combined moves up into the points, into 10th place. As now, his Lucky Racer is on the inside of Harry, and he's actually overtaken him there. Or has he? They're side by side still, coming down towards the hairpin. And Lucky Racer does get past Harry, and he moves up into P8. So a nice move from the Haas once again. It's going around the outside of Boxy into turn 7. Actually, there's a replay here of the move from Lucky Racer. And there's a bit of lag there, as now coming into the chicane. And whoa, that's quite interesting there. Lucky Racer completely squeezed Harry into the wall. That could be penalty worthy. Could be penalty worthy. In fact, it might actually be penalty worthy, because just completely squeezed him into the wall. You just can't do that. You can't do that at all. And now on to the next lap of this Canadian Grand Prix. This has actually been a nice race in terms of action. A very, very nice race, or at least in the midfield anyway. As now coming into the chicane, and there's a spin there. Harry has spun into the barrier as he goes, and he's actually got a puncture on the rear right tyre. So all that wheel spin he got after battling with those guys has actually given him a puncture. That is not good for Harry there. As now on board with Jagger. I think it's the dry period now, so Jagger is going to pit for dry tyres, I think. And yes, he will. He's going to pit for dry tyres. Jagger comes into the pits for Ferrari. As I was saying before, this is actually a very nice race. Anyway, in the midfield at least, it's a nice race. I'm not sure about the front, but at the midfield it's a nice race at least. Jagger comes into the pits to fit on the super soft tyres. It's a very interesting strategy from the Serbian, because everyone else is on the ultra softs at this point. I think Nostalgia's... I think Jagger's teammate Saint Nostalgia is on the ultra softs for sure. I'm pretty sure he is. I'm not sure if he is or not. But Jagger has gone onto the super softs. He wants to go to the end. And Ping comes into the pits now for Williams. He's probably going to fit on the ultra soft tyres, because Jagger's the only one who's fitted on the super softs. Also, Savage in the pits also fits the ultra soft tyres. Yes, Ping does also go on the ultra soft tyres as well. And we saw Savage in the pits as well. He's also on the ultra softs. So I think at the moment Jagger is the only one on track who's gone on the super softs tyres. It's a very interesting strategy from the Serbian. I don't know why he's done that, but maybe he wants to go to the end on those tyres, but not like the ultra softs can't go to the end. As now on lap 31, it's completely dry at the moment. Ivan has overtaken Jagger for third place. Now Sentry on the inside of Jagger as well, and he goes up into 4th place. So maybe that super soft strategy was a mistake from Jagger, because both the ultra soft runners have overtaken him ever since that pit stop. Lap 34, the penultimate lap of this race now. Here we go. Coming through into the chicane, and there's a yellow flag, and there's Sentry. Sentry has spun and completely lost his front wing. That is one of the championship contenders has lost their front wing completely. That is... what has happened there? What has happened there? from what I heard after the race, Sentry completely lost the car, and in losing the car, he lost his front wing, and Ivan ran into him. Because Ivan looks slow as well, and he might have lost his front wing. So the top two in the championship have actually come together in this Canadian Grand Prix. And it's in the penultimate lap. What a dramatic change in this race now. It's going to be Gilles on the podium for Ferrari. Ivan has also lost his front wing, so both the two championship contenders, first and second in the championship, Sentry and Ivan, have both lost their front wing and they've come together. Not anyone's fault. I think Sentry said he lost it, and he lost his own front wing, and then Ivan just didn't see him and ran into him. That's what I've heard. That's what I heard from Sentry. As now onto the last lap of the Canadian Grand Prix. In his first race of the season, Nostalgia is going to win for Ferrari in Canada. He wins the Canadian Grand Prix. Nostalgia wins for Ferrari, and that is Ping in 6th. We're on board with there. But it's going to be a Gonza who takes second place for McLaren. A nice race from a Gonza once again. His bad luck from Russia and Australia and Bahrain and all other races before, it's turned around now. Agonza finally has a good race, and he finishes in second place for McLaren. Vladimir Gilles is going to finish on the podium for Ferrari, an unexpected podium after Ivan and Sentry came together. From what I've heard, Sentry spun by himself and Ivan ran into the side of him. Gilles crosses the line for P3. Ivan finishes 4th for McLaren, and Sentry finishes in 5th place without a front wing. So it happened on the penultimate lap, but they've actually gone without a front wing. Sentry will be 5th, Ping will be 6th, Lucky Racer in 7th, Addy in 8th, combined in 9th. And to complete the points, we have Boxy. So, Nostalgia wins for Ferrari by 14 seconds. Agonza in second place, Jagger in third, Ivan in fourth, Sentry in fifth. Those two collided. Ping Too High in sixth place for Williams, Lucky Racer in seventh for Haas, Addy in eighth for Toro Rosso. Combined finishes ninth after a unfortunate front wing change. Boxy in 10th, ahead of Cryptox in 11th, Wesley in 12th, Harry in 13th, and the DNFs were Savage and Thaboom. And that incident did end up getting a penalty. It was 3 penalty points and a 20-second penalty for Lucky Racer for causing a collision. And that incident was actually a lag incident, and there was actually no further action was needed for that Wesley, Ping, and Lucky Racer incident. So that was the Canadian Grand Prix. It was a fairly eventful race. Hopefully you enjoyed. The next race is the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Baku, which should be a crazy race for sure. See you guys then, and goodbye.